San Antonio Spurs fans, is there a chance that this could happen?
Go Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. A few of you lately have been talking about Lauri Markkanen coming to the Spurs in the comments, and I was like, you know what? Let me do a little research on this myself, and I did find Air Alamo did an article a couple of days ago, and I was like, you know what? Let me talk about this too. Drop my 2 cents, and of course get all of your 2 cents, 4 cents, 6 cents, whatever you got, maybe a dime, on if this could happen and if it should happen. So let's get into the article. San Antonio Spurs fans remember the good old days. Times when opposing teams would dare to try to test the paint, only to be met by a couple of towering figures, Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Alamo City may never have a pair of front court defenders that stout again. They were both all-timers. But that doesn't mean they can't try to recapture the essence. Size still matters in this sport. You take a talented big over a talented small 9 times out of 10, and there may be an opportunity for the Spurs to establish a new twin tower duo. By the way, from Jazz Lee, just a reminder, Lauri Markkanen is the first player to ever have 200 three-pointers and 100 dunks in a season. I had no idea he did that last season, so that's pretty cool. Congratulations. Lauri Markkanen would be a great fit next to Victor Wembanyama, and we'd have the most syllables from the 4 and 5, will we not? Markkanen, Wembanyama, Mama Kalishvili. We like the long names here, don't we? Markkanen is a supremely talented and versatile offensive player. During the regular season, he shot 40% from 3. He can get those 3-pointers off in a variety of ways, okay? He is neither a brick wall nor a turnstile on defense, and we've had our fair share of turnstiles, have we not? Playing next to Victor Wembanyama while being coached by Greg Popovich will likely see him maintain a reputation for being at least a respectable defender. His size will be a deterrent enough for some, and with proper positioning, he'll stop plenty of baskets with his 7-foot frame. Here comes a big question, Spurs fans. The question will be if the Spurs can pry him out of Utah. Markkanen is entering the final year of his contract at $18 million, in which he'll be an unrestricted free agent. The expectation would be Utah would offer him a huge contract extension unless they don't want him. And if the Spurs were to try to pry him away, what are we trading for him? Draft capital? Don't the Utah Jazz have 1 million draft picks from the Rudy Gobert trade? Are we trading players? Are we hoping that after this following season, he just leaves Utah and decides to come to San Antonio? Somebody to keep an eye on for sure. Let's get into it. Now I'm going to give my thoughts on whether we should pursue him or, whether we should pursue him, because I have some things to say. Markkanen averaged 23 points and 8 rebounds per game last season. Production that would be a valuable addition to the Spurs. Hey, no doubt, you would been the leading scorer on the team with those numbers last season. His presence would help address several key issues, notably 3-point shooting, and the silver and black struggle with consistent rebounding. He only turned 27 recently, so he's just entering his prime. An opportunity that San Antonio could pounce on to speed up the rebuilding process, which is something they have been reportedly exploring anyway. Okay, so I think we have talked about Markkanen in the past on this channel on whether the Spurs should pursue him, and I kind of have the same stance that I did before. I'll bring this up. I think it was actually more than a few years. It was a few years ago. We talked about him, trying to get him from Chicago, and the big thing that when I look at this, and I think you probably know where I'm going. The games played. It's the injury history. He has played 65 games or more, which is now the limit to be eligible for awards like Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, et cetera, et cetera. He's played 65 games twice, Spurs fans, and only once since his rookie year. This is a huge concern. This is my biggest concern. Is he a talented player? Absolutely. Would he fit well next to Wemby? Probably. But the best ability is availability. I don't care how good you are. If you're not out there playing, what good are you doing your team? And he missed almost 30 games last season. And he's missed significant time. I'm not going to count his rookie year because who the heck, maybe he wasn't playing, didn't start, or whatever it may be was rookie year. I don't remember. But everything after that, 52 games, 50 games, 51 games, 61, 66, 55. And his body's not going to get better as he gets older. I mean, my goodness, Wemby in his rookie year has already played more games in a season than Markkanen ever has. Wemby played, I think, 71. I know he crossed 70. I think it was 71. Markkanen has never even played 70 games. Why would that all of a sudden change? He's magically going to get healthy, coming to the San Antonio Spurs and start playing 80 games a season? No, I think he's going to be a guy that plays 60 to 65. And the big question there, too, is not only the time he misses in the regular season, his availability in the playoffs. Because we're going to be a playoff team sooner than later. The Spurs make the playoffs and he's sitting over on the pine the whole series. How's that helping us? This is, of course, fantasy world. He's with the Jazz. He's under contract right now. It would have to be a trade this season, or he leaves and free agency comes to us. I don't see it happening, and quite frankly, I don't want it to happen. And I know a lot of Spurs fans, I know you're about to like, TSR, you're always built to the draft. You never want to bring any vets in. I'm up for bringing vets in and established stars, but one of the prerequisites that I have is relatively healthy, no long injury history. He's got this long injury history, and because of that, I wouldn't want him. Who would I want? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I don't know a free agent next year. I'm not opposed to bringing players in. I do prefer to build by the draft, but having veteran presences certainly can help. But a guy that regularly misses 20 or more games, I can't get on board with that. I just can't. Of course, if the Spurs and the Jazz somehow come to an agreement, or he leaves Utah after next season and comes to us, of course, I'll root for him. I'll wish him the best. I'll hope that he plays 70-plus games every season as a San Antonio Spur and is healthy for the playoffs. That's a lot of hope. And yeah, no. I would pass, and it's probably not even an option, but I'll still pass on this non-option. But you guys have been talking about it, and I wanted to talk about it, and now I want to get your 2 cents, because I love reading your comments. That's one of my favorite things on this channel, is getting feedback from you guys and your opinions when we do these videos. Would you want Lauri Markkanen on the Spurs, even though he's got the injury history? Are you like, hey, you know what? The talent, don't care, bring him in. And if you would want Markkanen before this season starts, what would you be willing to give up besides Keldon Johnson? Because I think that's going to be the obvious answer. Trade Keldon, trade Keldon, trade Keldon, and Zach Collins too. Trade Zach, trade Zach. I think Keldon and Zach are the obvious ones. But would you trade picks? Do you think the Jazz would accept picks? And if you're a Jazz fan, are you ready to move on from him already? Do you want more draft capital? Very curious to everybody's thoughts on this. Hope you're having a great day. Hit the thumbs up to the channel and subscribe to become part of our awesome San Antonio Spurs community. Thank you for watching, and as always, go Spurs go.
You know you're basic to Wemby.